Greetings, guitar engineers. I'm Desi Cerna, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to use a guitar looper pedal. I'm going to show you some ways that you can use it for practice, for live performances, and just to have fun. I'll also explain how you can correctly time the beginning and the end of your loop so that you get a seamless repeat. First, let's talk about what a looper pedal is. It's a stop box. You plug your guitar into the looper pedal and then you come out to your amp or your PA system. A looper pedal records your playing. So you stomp on it, you record your playing, then you stomp on it again, and it will repeat what has been recorded in a loop. This recorded segment can be used as accompaniment in order to practice or make music. There are many different looper pedals on the market. I suggest you get one that is inexpensive and has simple control layouts. You can choose between units that have one foot switch or units that have two foot switches. When you choose a unit that has just one foot switch, you control its different functions like record, playback, and overdub with a combination of 1 and 2 stomps. When you choose a unit that has 2 foot switches, then you can control these features with just one stomp on the different foot switches. That can sometimes make it easier to loop because sometimes it's hard to do a double tap when you're in the middle of playing music. You also find loopers that are built into multi-effects pedals and other type of guitar gear. I'm actually going to use the looper that's built into the foot controller of my Kemper profiling amplifier. Alright, so the most obvious way to use a looper pedal is to record yourself playing some chord changes so that you can then play over it and practice some scales or some lead. Another way that you might use a looper pedal is to layer some rhythm guitar parts. For example, here's Ace Frehley's part in the song Cold Gin by Kiss. And now, I'll play Paul Stanley's part from the same song. So the looper pedal allows you to combine parts that you wouldn't normally be able to play by yourself. This would include playing harmonies, like the dueling guitar solos you hear at the end of Hotel California. You can even put together several layers of instrumentation that includes rhythm guitar parts, a bass line, some percussive elements, some melodies, and some harmonies. So the biggest problem that people run into when they get started with looping is timing the beginning and the ending of the loop so that things repeat correctly. In order to get things to sound right, you need to finish your loop on the very same beat that you started it on. Let me give you an example. So let's say I wanted to record myself playing some accompaniment on an A minor chord, and I'm just going to play one measure like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. When I begin my loop, I want to make sure that I start on beat 1 and that I hit the foot switch at precisely the same time that I strum down on beat 1 to start the loop. But then that's how I want to end the loop, on the same beat, beat 1, when it comes back around, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 4. Now I have a seamless loop and I can play over it. When you stop your loop on the very same beat that you start on, then you get segments that are the perfect length for joining together and making continuous accompaniment. If you stop the loop too soon, then when playback repeats, you're going to be missing some time in there. Likewise, if you stop the loop too late, then when playback repeats, you're going to have extra time in there. After recording a loop, you want to be able to start playback on beat 1, and when it finishes, you want it to restart on the very same beat. That's what's going to create a consistent, seamless sound. So for example, in the loop that I just created a moment ago, if I start it, it's going to start on beat 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's going to repeat right on beat 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You don't want to create a loop like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. I waited too late to stop the recording of that loop, and so I had extra time at the end of it so it wouldn't repeat seamlessly. You also don't want to stop your loop too soon, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, I stopped the recording of the loop too soon. I'm missing some time at the end of it, and then when it comes back to the beginning to repeat, it sounds jarring and it doesn't sound seamless. So when you're going to make a loop, you want to know on which beat you will start and on which beat you will end. And it should be the very same beat. Beat 1. You'll start on beat 1, and then you will stop on beat 1 when it comes back around to it. You also want to make sure that your timing is steady while you're recording the loop. I recommend you actually start playing your rhythm guitar part before you begin recording the loop, and then begin recording the loop on your repeat, like this. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I also recommend that you play through the end of the loop. In other words, when you hit that foot switch again to end your loop segment, keep strumming as if you were going to keep going. This will keep your playing consistent, and this will make sure that the end of the loop connects well with the beginning of the loop as if you were playing continuously. If you don't do this, you might actually slow down or change something about your playing in anticipation of the end of your loop. This could cause something to sound funny when the loop repeats. So let me demonstrate that again. First, I'm going to begin strumming and make sure that my rhythm is steady. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, I'm going to begin my loop on beat 1. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Keep strumming just to keep my playing the same. I ended my loop on the very same beat that I started. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. You can hear that the loop connects seamlessly. It sounds like I just continued to play. The same is true when you're playing chord changes. So for example, here are the chords to the guitar solo section of Stairway to Heaven. So I want to put this on a loop. I want to know where beat 1 is. I want to begin strumming and make sure that my rhythm is steady. I'll start on beat 1 and then I will stop on beat 1 when it comes back around, and I'm going to play through the end of that loop just to make sure I keep my playing consistent. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It sounds perfect. Now, I could actually record more passes through the chord changes for my loop. In that example, I just played through them once, and then I stopped the loop. But I could have played through them twice, or 3 times, or 4 times. I just want to make sure that when I end the loop, I end on the very same beat that I started on. I also want to be careful that I don't make my recorded loop too long, because the longer it is, the more likely that something about my playing is going to change. Perhaps my tempo might fluctuate. And then when I end the loop and it comes back to the beginning, you might notice a difference. So I like to keep my loops as short as possible. Now, what if you want to record a rhythm guitar part that doesn't begin on beat 1? For example, Eric Clapton's acoustic version of Layla actually comes in before beat 1, like this. 1, 2, 3. In fact, you don't even play on beat 1. So, how are you going to loop it? You have a couple options. The first option is to locate where beat 1 lands in the music and to start your loop on that beat and then stop your loop when that very same beat comes back around. So, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1. So in this case, I actually have 2 measures of music. So I began on beat 1, and then I played through the progression. And when I get back to the top of it, I ended the loop on the same beat, beat 1. So in some cases, when you have pickup notes like this, you have to locate where beat 1 is in the rhythm guitar part, begin your loop there, and then when you come back around to the beginning of your rhythm guitar part, stop the loop on the same beat that you started. I use beat 1 here. Now another option is to start your loop on a different beat. Or you could just start your note on a particular note. So for example, you could just begin your loop on the very first note that begins this rhythm guitar part. That A, like this. So all right, so it's repeating and it sounds seamless. And I can play over it. Now, the only thing that's different about this is that when I go to begin the playback of that loop, I got to remember that it's not starting on beat 1. So I can't count myself in and go 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, because it doesn't start on beat 1. Beat 1 is actually right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. But my loop didn't actually start on beat 1. Now if I go back to the other way that I did it originally, I located beat 1 and I started and stopped the loop on beat 1. So now when I stop my loop and then when I restart it, it's going to actually restart on beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So sometimes you have to put a little thought into creating your loop, and you have to understand on which beat a particular rhythm guitar part is starting, or on which beat it's not starting, in this case beat 1, and you have to locate beat 1 and start and stop your loop here. Or you could find some other anchor point. The key is to find an anchor point, figure out when you're going to start your loop, and then figure out when your rhythm guitar part or whatever you're playing repeats, and how you can end the loop at precisely the same time so that you get segments that are the perfect length to join together and create some continuous playback. Well, once you know how to start and stop a loop correctly, you can have a lot of fun with a guitar loop pedal. And there are other things that you can do. You can learn how to use the overdub features. You can learn how to use some of the start and stop features and some of the erase features. You can look at the instruction manual to the particular loop pedal that you have to figure out how to use all of its functions. But it all begins with learning how to start and stop your loops on time. A few other things you can consider is that you want to adjust the volume level of the loop. You want to make sure that your recorded part isn't so loud that you can't hear yourself playing over it. Also, if you're going to add a loop pedal to your signal chain, you want to put the loop pedal at the end of your signal chain. And the reason why is you might record yourself playing some guitar chords using a clean tone, but then you want to hit an overdrive pedal and play some lead over the top. Well, if you have your loop pedal before your overdrive pedal, then the recorded part is going to come out of the loop pedal into your overdrive, and then it will get overdriven as well. And you may not want that. You may want to put your loop pedal at the end of the signal chain so that the way that you recorded into the loop pedal will come out of it last thing into your amp. Then you can change the sound of what you're playing live over the top of the recorded part. All right, so that's how you use a guitar looper pedal. And with practice, you'll get better and better at it, so stick with it. Because looper pedals are great tools to use for practice, to use in live performances, and to use just to have fun. So, did you find this video helpful? Do you have other suggestions you'd like to share with others? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you'd like to get on a plan to fill gaps in your playing and make more progress with guitar, go to my website, guitarmusictheory.com. Answer the questions I ask you about your playing, and I'll send you free custom video instruction calibrated to your current level. I'll show you how you can progressively play and sound better today in as little as 33 minutes. Go to guitarmusictheory.com and enroll in a free video course today. All right, thanks for watching. I'm Desi Cerna. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on that little bell icon to receive alerts when new videos are uploaded. Also, click like, then stay tuned for more.